Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flyjsim live stream. Today it's the 18th of February 2020, coming in from the UK at 9:30 in the evening. And I thought that I'd just do a bit of an impromptu stream this evening. Wasn't planning this until about 3 hours ago. I said to the members of Discord, fancy doing a stream tonight, because usually Tuesdays, if I'm not working, we either have friends around or we go around some of our friends. But I was free. My partner's watching TV. There's nothing decent on, so I thought, why don't I do a stream instead? So I wasn't sure what to do. I thought I was going to go to DC3. Instead, I'm jumping into one of my favourite X-Plane 11 aircraft. That's the Flyjsim 737-200, which we haven't flown for quite a while. It's been in the hangar, gathering a bit of dust, but we've positioned it here to Corfu, and we're going to do a 45-minute flight to Athens. Time permitting, I might do the return sector to Corfu, but that would mean burning the midnight oil. But we'll see how we get on. Conventional navigation the whole way. VOR. I just generated a couple of flight plans prior to the stream. I've not practiced this flight. I've not flown this aircraft since the last time we streamed it a couple of months ago, even longer than that. So only one thing could possibly go wrong. Well, lots of things could possibly go wrong, but we'll see. Lots of new people in the chat I can see as well, as per the usual normal members. Will123185 says evening. Captain Borg says good evening as well. AVFWT, greetings from the Netherlands. Got lots of Dutch people here. Captain Borg, it's sunny at Corfu. Yes. As with most of my most recent live streams, we're running it not quite live time. We're actually exactly 12 hours behind live time. So it's 9:35 at the moment in the morning Zulu. So 12 hours behind live time. But the weather is live, and of course, being in Greece, it's lovely. Clear skies, right at 8 degrees, 1019. Be a little bit warmer perhaps, but yes, yeah, we'll have quite a good fun flight. This is going to be lovely, clear skies, nice scenery over Greece, flying into Athens. I think we have been there once in a stream before, but certainly not without an FMC, an easy LNAV and VNAV. It'll certainly be a bit more of a challenge. So, but no excuse with regards to the weather anyway. Alfie Douglas, your mug arrived yesterday. Fantastic news. I look forward to seeing a picture of that. Maybe you already did. I can't remember. Cool. Right, let's jump into the sim. So yes, this scenery is from, I think it's Fly Tampa, was it? Corfu? It's an airport we've flown into at least once or maybe a couple of times on live streams. It's a really nice airport. Nice scenery. I've flown to this airport a few times in real life too. Very challenging. If we do decide to come back later, I'll have to do a VOR approach, which in this aircraft would be incredibly difficult because there's no sort of clever autopilot with vertical speed or anything. I think it's got some sort of archaic version of control wheel steering. And of course, I've got this private livery. You can see in the video description below the link for that, but it is the Alpaca Airways classic fleet we have, which is the 200. Right, anyway, I've not done anything, guys, so we'll jump in here, pop the battery on. I've selected the SIDs in the charts, and I've pre-selected the fuel as well. I think I put 6 tons in there. Let's just get some ground power connected as well. Bear with me, because it has been a while since I've flown this aircraft. We've got the maintenance system on as well, so if I overcook things with the engines, they will catch fire as usual. We might get things break down, so that always adds an element of suspense. Hopefully nothing will happen though. Right, there you go. There's GPU connected. That is so loud. Right, let's get the GPU on the bus. There we go. So battery on. Let's get the electric hydraulic pumps on. I'm kind of just following the NG flow. It sort of works. We only got 3 green lights in the 200, and the rest is set. Let's do all the fire tests. I think it was all down here, wasn't it? Oh, it's so different to the NG. There we go. I don't even know which lights are meant to illuminate. Sounds about right. Back up here. Alarm that. Plus the seatbelt sign on. Much of the cabin is secure. Working our way down here. We'll put the position lights on. No, I'm going to get the APU started now, nice and early as well. MCP wise, what's the runway heading here in Corfu? We'll go through all the usual departure stuff very shortly. It is going to be runway 16 departures. We're punching 165 on the heading. It's nice to get away from the 727. That is difficult to fly single pilot. This is a little bit easier, but still again quite challenging, because within the confines of a desktop simulator these things are always challenging. Initial course for departure is going to be 138. We're intercepting the Goritza VOR after departure and tracking outbound on this radial. So we're going to punch in 138 here. I'm going to put it on the first officer's course as well. There we are. It's going to be a super short flight, about 45 minutes. So that's all set up here. Altitude selector. There's no SID stop level, so we're going to go straight up to our cruise level today, which is flight level 250. I don't think we'll spend much time there either. I think we'll probably be there for 5 minutes before we have to start descending into Athens. But that is now set. There's no ADF for departure either. Frequencies are not this stupid transfer switch again. I hate this. I hate this way of tuning frequencies, but it will have to do. 108.8. That is the Goritsa VOR, which you'll need for departure, and then we're going to be flying to Kakira, which is 14.7. So I'll put 108.8. And then 14.7 this side. Thank you very much, Mr. Swedish Piano, for another donation, 55 Norwegian kroner. My third ever donation. Yes, your name often comes up to the same person who deserves it the most. Hope your day was great as always. Thank you very much, Mr. Swedish Piano. Getting a little bit late over in Norway, I guess, with that currency. But thank you very much for the donation. I'm glad you can make it on board, and hopefully you'll still be awake for the approach into Athens. Thank you very much. Right, transponder then. No, we don't need to test it. Put it to standby. Box 1, box 1. Circuit breakers are all closed. No IRSs on this. We do test the stall warner. Oh yeah, there's an ADF up here. I think this is ADF 1 up here, and ADF 2 is down there, if I remember rightly. Well, that's going to be fun trying to work that out later. I think that's ADF 2 there, and ADF 1 is on the upper overhead panel. Right, so that's all good. Let's get the APU on the bus. APU bleed on, isolation valve open. Forgot to set the cruise level up here, but we need to go onto the upper overhead panel anyway. Let's get rid of that noisy GPU. There we are. A little bit more peaceful in the flight. Let's go up to the upper overhead panel now. Right, your damper can come on. Fuel pumps on, no fuel in the centre tank today. Galley power on. Seatbelt signs are all fastened. Up overhead panel, window heat on. I remember there's a little switch here. I think it's important that you have to put this into flight. Yes, oh yeah, we're going to be going up to 250. So use our little table here. So we want to set the cabin altitude to 3,400. 3,400. And the elevation in Athens is 308 feet. So let's stick in here 300. Happy days. Judith Van Buxom, can someone explain what galley power is? Galley power is what basically powers everything in the cabin. So things like the ovens, the boiler, in-flight entertainment systems, they usually have a separate switch, but technically, well, on the engine it needs to be on at all times. So everything in the back basically is powered by that switch. So we're all good up here, I think. Right, let's have a little look where we are. So we are going to be taxiing off stand 1 here. It's a remote stand. Unfortunately, Flying Tampa have modelled a tug right on our stand, so we're going to make a sharp left turn so we don't hit him. Join the taxi line there, and there's our hold point there for runway 16. Our departure. The reason I chose this routing is because they have conventional SIDs and stars both in Athens and Corfu, so we can use all the needles to fly this properly. So we're going to be flying the Malid 1 Kilo for runway 16. Going to climb straight ahead, wait until we're at 500 feet, and then we're going to make a left turn. We'll intercept this 138 radial. If you remember, we put the course to 138 until we get to Kakira VOR 14.7, which I put on standby. And then from Kakira, we need to be at above 3,000 feet. We're going to just go outbound still 137 all the way till Malid at above flight level 70, which we should be there. Malid's going to be distance of, I think it's about, how many miles is that from Kakira? So you've got to add these up, 17 miles or so. And then we're going to join the flight plan for the rest of the route. And the rest of the routing is going to take us, if we go here from charts, flick to the last few pages so you can see where we're going. It's a nice straight line actually. We're going to go straight overhead a VOR called Araxos, which is around here. Then from Araxos we're going to fly direct to a VOR which is on the arrival, I think about there. And then we essentially, the arrival takes us towards a VOR, and then we fly on this outbound radial to intercept the localizer. So we should be fine, I hope. Yeah, flight time, as I said, 45 minutes or so, absolute maximum. Okay, so performance-wise, we'll set the bugs for takeoff. Flap 5, set bugs. So we're going to have the passengers loaded. So I've got 79 passengers. I think there's 120 seats. And that gives us a zero fuel weight of 38.8, which I've matched on SimBrief. And the fuel, if you remember, we needed... where was it? Charts. Just go back to page 1. Which is here. This is the correct flight plan, I think. Yes, Corfu to Athens. We needed 5.3 tons. I've just stuck 6 tons on, so I just ran up to the nearest ton. You know, minimum I'd take is 5.4. We'll just take a little bit there, just in case I screw something up, but we have to go around. Okay, so I think we're all good to go. Can't. Now, why can't I close that? There we are. Close. And close the bug cards. Oh yeah, we need to set the trim as well, which I think if you press that, nicely sets the trim for us. Perfect. Right. Now let's imagine we got our startup clearance and clearance to Athens, cleared on the Malid 1 kilo, and engine start approved. So packs are off, isolation valve is open, anti-collision light is on, and the transponder is out off. And we'll set ourselves a nice squawk. 2020, I think, is our offline squawk we've been setting. Right. I've heard it all things correctly. Engine should start, no problem at all. So we'll move that to ground. Something's hissing in the background. And we'll kind of follow what I do in the NG. We'll put the fuel in at around 25% head 2. A lot easier to set up this from cold and dark. Only been streaming for 14 minutes to start the engines. Right, let's stick some fuel in. And it's loud. Nice. That's spooled up quite nicely. I'll go back in here because it's very loud out there. Captain Borg, autopilot flying and autopilot monitoring, something like that. Rocksmate, how much did you pay for the ATPL Plus type rating? How did you manage to get the money? A common question asked on my channel. I was kind of got a loan through my flight training school, a very substantial loan, which was secured against my parents' house with a bit of persuasion. I managed to persuade them to do that, and I had to pay all that off for my first 5 years flying, which was very tough, no disposable income, but I got there in the end. And here I am, 8-9 years later. There's no starter. You can't see the fuel valves opening and closing, but there. It's the same engine start procedure as the NG. Muscle killing. This is so old. How do you manage to fly this? There's a big Seneca, this aeroplane. That's all it is. There's no auto brake here, is there? RTO. Nope. Right, looks like we've got 2 good engine starts. We've got N1 rotation, EPR's good, temperature's N2, looks all stable, fuel flow stable. Right, let's do our flow. Let's put that to low ignition, I think that's the equivalent. Hydraulics, is there a little switch there to make sure we've got the hydraulics, or is that on the 727? I can't remember. There we are, I think we're all configured. Make sure that switch is in flight. PSI is fine. Flaps 5 for departure. Flight controls. Full forward, full back, left centre, right centre. Here comes the rudders. Full right centre, full left centre. Push recall, and then we would read the before taxi checklist. So we are all configured, ready to taxi. Let's get on going. So turn off. Taxi light on, release the parking brake. Gonna slowly add the thrust, make sure there's no... Ah! Wait, okay. Ignore the fact that the engines are now exploding. I had my thrust set up to full. I think something was backfiring there. That's not a good start. I'm gonna get some banter for that later. Right, let's slowly advance the thrust levers. No takeoff configuration warning horn. So if you add the thrust too quickly, the engines start backfiring, which is a nice little feature to deal with in flight. The Flyjsim 737-200. Right, let's start again. We'll make a sharp left turn. Nortski, can you smell burning? Brilliant. Will 185, estimated flight duration 45 minutes. It's a super short sector. At least the weather's on our side, but yeah, we don't really want the engine backfiring. Compressor surge, exactly. I don't have to worry about that on the NG, that's for sure. Right, here's the Alpha taxiway. I forgot how sensitive the tiller is on the Flyjsim aircraft. You really have to be gentle on your... on my joystick I have the tiller on here, so if I move it slightly it just starts jerking all over the place. Lovely. Farnborough media at 25,000 feet. It's a very clean aircraft, isn't it? So we're already approaching the whole point. We'll do the before takeoff checklist. So config we checked. Flaps we have 5.5. Well, say 5.5. What we usually check is in the FFC. Our flaps match, but we don't have an FFC. But we can see we've got 5 selected. 5 indicated green lights. Stab trip set for departure. We're flying the Maled 1 kilo, so we're going to climb straight ahead to 500 feet, make a left turn, intercept the 138 radial from Goritsa to Kakira, climbing straight up to our cruise level, which is flight level 250. Noise 2, I'm just going to try and have a bit of a play and bug up accordingly. I'm going to set here the up speed, which is around 200 knots. And just realised I haven't got the QNH set, which is quite important. Thank you to whoever that was who donated as well. Just want to get the QNH set, and I'll say thanks to you. QNH is 1019, which I need to set on the first officer side as well. There we are. Have I entered an active runway? I might have accidentally crossed the... Yes, look. That's a runway incursion, ladies and gentlemen. Don't cross the line until you got your clearance there. But I was trying to say thanks to whoever donated. KPS, very generous. Thank you, £20. Crikey, again with a generous donation. Thank you. Been busy working, but you happen to be streaming on my days off. Also, I enjoy seeing you fly the 200. Love those engines, even when they're backfiring. Thanks for the banter, KPS. Appreciate that, and look forward to hearing some backfiring on Discord later with the banter there. Lovely. So yeah, here we are. We have already crossed the whole point, so that's a runway incursion. You're in trouble. You have to then probably go have tea and biscuits with your chief pilot, but I was concentrating on setting the QNH and checking whoever donated. I'll let myself off. But imagine we've got our takeoff clearance. It's winds 2704 knots here, clear skies 8 degrees, so we're all looking good. So pop all these lights on, strobes on. There's weather radar 2 on this, I believe, down here. So put the tilt to +5. Let's put that to weather turbulence. The range to around 40 miles an hour. So there's no MCP to set. Transponder is set to TARA. Strobe lights are on. Landing lights are on. Checks are complete. There we are. So we're going to set 97.4% N1. I always like to work off the N1 because that's what I'm used to. But it's really important the Flyjsim don't leave it there, otherwise your engines will catch fire. I don't know how realistic that is, but it definitely is the case here. I think we've got a... Yeah, take off M1 97 and climb M1. We'll reduce to 92%. We'll go about 90% today. We'll follow that guidance. I've overshot the centre line here slightly. Yeah, a little bit. Right, let's just get ourselves squared up nicely, make sure we're pointing in the right direction. There we are. So, seatbelts fastened. Let's spool these engines up to around 50% N1. Make sure nothing happens, no explosions, all the needles are matching, all looking good. And let's slowly set our target takeoff thrust at 97%. Little bit more. There we are. So takeoff thrust set. All the The indications look good. No auto throttle or toga on this bad boy.
80 knots.
Checked.
E1. Rotate.
There we go. There we are, and we're airborne. Positive rate of climb, so gear is coming up. I'm already going to reduce that thrust to about 90. Don't want those engines going back, and I'm trimming. There's 500 feet, so we're going to make that left turn. There's no preset heading. Just said make a left turn to intercept the 138 radial. I'll lower the nose now so I can start accelerating. I'll select flap 1 about there. About 10 degrees on the attitude. A little bit further left turn actually. Selecting flaps up. I'm going to pitch up now to maintain around 200 knots. There's the VOR coming in, so we're going to make that right turn. I'm looking at this instrument here, the RMI. There we are, so that RMI is nicely coming in. It's going to trim nose down here. A little bit slow back to 200 knots. Right, get some, hopefully some automation in here. Right, let's pop this on. Indicated airspeed, VOR lock. And it should now start turning for us. And now we're going to accelerate to 250 knots. And we can tune in Kikira 14.7. I'll do that here. So we should get the DME here counting down to Kikira. And then we'll do the after takeoff checklist. HSI, did I say RMI? HSI, CDI, whatever that whole thing is called. Air conditioning pressurization. Diff pressure's looking good. And we'll set the QNH now 1013. Yeah, after takeoff checklist complete. Sweet. Right, so approaching, show you here, look. So we're just approaching this point here, the Kikira VOR, if I just show you briefly. Oh, this chart doesn't have the ability to see aircraft live. But we're going to carry on 137, fly right over the top of it. And then fly outbound from Malad on the same track. So thrust set to about 90%. That will stop things overheating. I'm just going to go onto a heading now as we fly over the top of the Kikira VOR. So if we press this to heading select, I was looking to see what I did from the 727. The autopilot was down here, but it's up here, isn't it? How in the world do I get to a heading? I can't remember. How do you go to heading select? Is it... Oh, there it is. Heading select. There we are. Right in front of me. Right, so now I want 14.7 both sides. Yeah, 14.7, 14.7. We are. We're going to go outbound on the 137 back to VOR lock and VOR lock. There we are. We're tracking outbound now. From this VOR here, Kikira. Can't see where we are, but we're going to just keep going outbound on this track until we get to Malad. Cool, and then we'll put the next VOR on route active. Shouldn't be too far away. Can accelerate now to around 280. And we'll convert to Mach when we get a bit higher. Do the pre-cruise check, so fuel, 4 pumps, lights, APU's off. Pressurization, diffs increasing, so we are pressurizing. Cabin altitude's increasing. Set. Release the passengers. We are. Checks complete. Luke G, are you doing an ILS? Yes, I'll plan on doing the ILS into Athens, but if we do the return sector to Corfu, I will... It will have to be a VOR or a visual, because that's the only approaches we can fly into Corfu. Right, what's this next en route VOR as well? Oh, it's 112.7. We'll put that box 2. Yeah, we've already got the DME for that, look, counting now. No smoky signs off, cloudy Jojo. Well, actually, at my operator, we use that as the cabin secure position switch. We use that to remind us how the cabin's configured. But at my operator, we're an all smoking operator. We do allow you to smoke in the back. Absolutely no problem at all. Lights, whoever said that, thank you very much. What's on the menu today says AVFWT Alpaca Burgers. Cool. So we'll get rid of these charts now. Lovely scenery out there. Here my passengers are very happy, chatting amongst themselves. F-headed, I'd fly on that. Lovely. Lovely Ortho 4XP for all this round part of the world as well. Listen to me, how about alpaca tacos? We do have vegetarian options as well. So there we are, leaving Corfu here. And then we're going to be flying down here, and then, excuse my Greek, but I'm guessing that's Athens. Eohania, how do you pronounce that in Greek? No idea. Cool. Yes, it's going to be a super short flight. Actually, you know what? I'll probably start getting all the charts out for Athens. Alfie Douglas, is it even legal to smoke in an airline despite the operator's policy? Yes, it is actually a criminal offence to smoke in an aircraft. You can quite easily be sentenced to a prison. I mean, it is a Bristol offence. Right, airport, no. Approach, no. Arrival. We're going to be flying. What are we going to be flying today? Made a note of it. A Nemes to Charlie. Approach is going to be... I have no idea what runway's in use right now. There's clear skies, calm winds, so I'm going to go straight in on 03 left, I think. We'll go ILS Zulu 03 left. We've got initial approach and final approach. So we're going to be coming in from here, from the Delta Delta Mike VOR inbound. We can step down with the DME distances. And final approach here. Oh, Flyjsim is here. Good evening to you, sir. Sorry I didn't let you know I was going to stream in your excellent aircraft. I decided to start streaming about 2 hours ago. A bit of an evening. I just thought I'd jump back into this absolute beast. Airport. Whopping great big airport, this one. There we are. So we're going to land on 03 left, vacate. We'll taxi Hotel Zulu, park on one of the stands here, and if we do decide to return flag, I think we'll depart from runway 21 left. That's what I planned it off anyway. But I don't know what the preferential landing runway is in Athens. It probably changes based on the time of day. Hands music, most common customer complaint at Alpaca Airlines, the smell. It's the smell, hands music. Sort of a faint whiff of something fecal. Cool. Thank you very much to George345, joined as a member. Welcome to the channel as a member. I'm glad you're enjoying all the content, and you'll be automatically invited to the members only Discord, where you'll keep up to date with the latest flight data sim content. Welcome, and thank you very much. Right, so this is quite a nice VOR we're flying outbound from. Remember, we're still flying outbound from Corfu, the Kikira VOR, but we're nice joining up with the inbound VOR. It's the same track. This is an actual airway, I think. I don't know what the name of it is because I don't have Navigraph open in the background. I can find that out. But yeah, it's an actual airway. There's an airport down there. Nicely plonked in over the ortho overlay. No idea where that is. This airway is the Uniform Alpha 1-4 airway. I think we can both come up now on 112.7. That's going to spat out Warlock. Nav lock, there we are. So now inbound to the first en route VOR. Which is called Araxos. Very Greek sounding. George S. Hi Skipper, did I miss anything? No, we're very efficient stream so far. We did a quick start up in Corfu, just taking off from there. We're reaching cruise level in about a couple of minutes, where we'll spend about no more than 10 minutes. I think then we'll start our descent into Athens. Just two very quick short flights today. Captain Finland, have you ever flirted to a flight attendant once? Please don't ban. I can't answer that. My girlfriend downstairs, but seeing she is cabin crew. How do you think I pulled her? 6 years ago. No, 7 years ago. I hope she's not watching this stream, otherwise I'm in trouble. Anyway, let's quickly change the subject. Almost looking really nice out this window. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, what I want to dial in is the Didymon 17.2, which is the VOR into our arrival into Athens. So I'm just going to DME distance 139. Coma 13794, best way to contact you regarding a professional inquiry. I won't answer questions regarding my operator, but if you have a question about becoming a pilot or anything like that, yeah, feel free to email me, and that's in my, if you go on my YouTube homepage to the About section, you'll find a link to my email address associated with the channel. If I can answer your query, I shall do my best. Okay, 1 to go. So cruise at around 300 knots indicated. It's going to give us about Mach decimal 6970. Coma 13794, perfect, thanks, already a pilot, so all good there. Yeah, feel free, and I'll try and get back to you. So, we need to try and work out when we need to initiate our descent. We'll do a little bit of maths to do that. Look, I'll turn this off, so you know I'm not cheating. But we are routing inbound to our en route VOR, and as soon as we're at that en route VOR, it's going to be the same course, I think, around 110 inbound to Didymon. We're going to be flying this Nemes arrival. We'll keep flying inbound towards Araxos. It's heartwarming to see some non-RNAV action. It's a dying art. It is. And I tell you what, this is really, really good practice as well. Jackson Skelly, how do the nav radios work on this bird? Well, it's a standard nav receiver, which you'd find on most aircraft, tuned VORs and ILS frequencies, and it's got 2 ADFs, and that's it. It's a conventional way of navigating. We've got no IRS on this aircraft, no GPS, no FMC. We are. There's flight level 250 and no auto throttle, so you just got to remember when you reach your cruise level, slowly reduce your thrust. There we go, back decimal 72. That's a nice speed. Just fine tuning that so we don't slow down, because I'll forget about it and then I'll fall out the sky, which is no good. About 80% N1. So about that. There we are. Cool. Right, so we're inbound to an en route VOR, which we're about to fly over here. Unfortunately, there's no way of kind of showing you this because I don't have any en route charts available. I mean, if I click Navigraph, it just has my synchronization for the charts. But I can show you on the flight plan roughly. So we're currently routing towards this VOR here. This is Araxos, and then we're going to fly outbound from there towards Digimon or Didymon or whatever that VOR was called, and then that's going to be the arrival. So approaching the halfway point quite quickly there. Can you hear that background noise? It sounds like a fan blowing or something, like this ticking noise, high-pitched ticking noise. I'm not sure what that is. What is the latest weather in Athens as well? It's lovely. Clear skies, 6 degrees, QNH 1020. No excuses. Cool, so let's try and work out when to initiate this descent. So, kind of work backwards from the ILS really. So we're going to be flying this approach. We're going to be 11 miles there, 13 miles here, so it's about 25 miles, and I think DMM is another 5-10 miles or so. So I reckon this point here we're going to be about 30 miles for landing. We're at 25,000 feet, so we need 75 miles to run. So 30 miles, 30 minus 75, 65, 40, so 45, let's call it 50. So 5, 10, no, wait, we're trying to do 30. So we want to be around 10,000 feet here, 9,000 feet. We need to lose another 15,000 feet there, so 15 times 3 is 45. When we're about 45 miles from Didymon, or 50 miles from Didymon, we need to initiate our descent. So when that reaches 50, that should be a good time. That's very rough workings out, 3 times table. It's a bit rough, we might be a bit high or a bit low. I'll adjust my descent, we'll keep an eye on it. Around 50 miles from here, that's going to be around 75 miles to run. We'll initiate descent, so only 50 miles till top of descent. Speed's running away ever so slightly. Just going to push a little bit of thrust. My thrust lever is quite sensitive on my joystick. So that's it. We're going to fly there from our VOR, which are about to fly over 9 miles away, to Didymon. And then from Didymon, we're going to fly outbound on this track 054. We'll then intercept the localizer, descend as per the charted altitudes, and then we'll then fly this approach 032. Minimums of 455. I've already got this radio altimeter, so we'll set 200 here. And then there's no minimum selector on the altimeter. Is there? No, I think I was only going to set radio altimeter. There's no bug, unfortunately, on the altimeter to set your minimums, unless I've missed that. Not sure. Anyway, let's just go to heading select for a brief second as we fly over this VOR. I want to put 17.2 as the active now for Didymon. Don't forget you're meant to identify this before using it. And what's that final approach track into this air? We'll fly on the exact radial we're meant to. Excuse me. So it's the 110 inbound, so radial 290. So we need to put 110 on the course. Look at that, that's matched up really nicely. And then we're going to go back to Warlock. Well, we're already flying inbound to Didymon. Those are those flipping Digimon things when I was a kid. There we are. So we're going to be flying inbound at Nemes. We should be direct overhead Nemes at 33 DME, around 33 DME. We'll aim to be around Didymon around 9,000 feet. Steve Mayer, boss, you're attracting them again. Am I getting some illicit messages from some dodgy sites? It's constant, isn't it? I think someone's spamming me with all this stuff. It happens all the time. Cool. So I hope that all sort of makes sense. Nice straight-in approach. Look at that scenery. Lovely. And we're going to start our descent very shortly, around 50 miles there. It's my personality, probably. Farmball Meteor, is Teespring as good as it looks? Probably. Some of the products are fine. I don't see any of it, but I've had someone receive pretty much everything from there. The mugs are certainly very popular. They're very good. They're just normal mugs. I think they're all personally overpriced. I've lowered them as much as I can on the Teespring site, but yeah, they're all okay. That is awesome. Look at that Ortho. Like, that looks really, really good. Ooh, Sim's churning up some frames here. No, it's definitely the best view out of the front window, as it is always. Yeah, Steve. I know Dougal messaged me. He's got someone looking into it already. More appeal. What zoom level is that? Level 17 on the Ortho. Now, bear in mind, I've not taken any wind into account. I actually have no idea what the wind is up here because I don't have any way of finding that out. I've got no indication of ground speed with this, so you only have to take your charts and go off that. So I've not based my descent into that. I might be a little bit conservative, start descent a little bit earlier. Yeah, if we can aim to be at Didymon at around 10,000 feet, that can't be too far off. Raygun, just wondering, do you adjust MDA-DA barrow when operating in really cold temperatures? Yes, Raygun. When it's below 0, we do temperature correct the MDA and DA. On non-precision approaches, ILS approaches, RNAV approaches with LNAV minima, but if there's LNAV, VNAV minima, we don't make the temperature... sorry, no, I'm getting muddled up. We always make temperature corrections. I'm talking about the plus 40 feet. Yeah, anything below 0 degrees, below the MSA, we essentially change here. That's an interesting heading we're taking to fly this RMI. Why are we going off in this direction? I should expect us to be pointing a little bit more this way, unless there's a really strong wind coming in from the north, but looks like it's doing a slight turn now anyway. Looking good. Luke G, what plane do you fly in real life? The 737NG 800. It's the only commercial aircraft I've ever flown, and I've not been flying for quite a while. I'm on a seasonal contract to my operator, so it's just been over 3 months since I last flew, but I go back to work in 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, which I'm very, very excited to do. Alfie Douglas, could you not do distance divided by time between VORs? Yeah, you can work out your ground speed that way, but that's not taking much of the wind, and you need a bit of time there, but you could do. Right, so it's at about 50 miles before. Why are we not turning right? I should feel like we should be turning right a bit more. That the RMI's tracking, it's kind of lagging a bit there. I think it's about a good time we start to descend. So let's go and set 6,000 feet here. I'm not sure about the terrain in this sector because I've got no airway chart, so we might be busting something there. But let's go to 6,000 initially, which is the minimum holding altitude, and we'll set the local QNH2. So if I put 6,000 feet in the box, oops. See, there's a bit of noise on my thrust lever here, so I could easily blow these edges up. Right, 6,000 feet, and do around 270 knots in descent. Let's take a bit of thrust off here to slow down, and I want indicated airspeed. Let's go for around, yeah, about 280 should be fine. Just slowly reducing the thrust to idle. Yeah, closed. And when we're 33 DME, we should be directly overhead Nemes. Tony Mitchell, those wipers look flimsy. I bet onto my old MG Metro. I just saw Morris Minor 1000 Estate today. You know, the ones that had the wooden doors to boot. That was pretty cool. Look at this absolute lump of metal, look. Idle thrust. Oh no, I want to do about 280, going a bit fast, but we're managing to do nearly 3,000 feet per minute. much draggier than the NG. There's our first external view. This Orfo is lovely. I've never flown over this part of the world either. A lot quieter when you're at idle, that's for sure. Straight through the camera. Bit of drift there. So the wind's coming in from the north there. So 4, 8, 12. Yeah, I think we're on good track here. Thank you very much to Michael Elaine for the $10 donation, who apparently is my #1 fan. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed the content. Appreciate the donation there. Very, very kind. Thank you. Roxbait, try flying the Tupolev. That's scary. That is coming up. I think, though, the next aircraft we're going to jump into, if we don't do the Zebra mod before, is going to be the Flight Factor 757, because I think for the last year or so that's been requested by far, well, compared to some other aircraft, a lot. So yeah, I'm going to look at that tomorrow, download it, and then I'll think of a kind of like a bucket and sand flight. I might do a flight from the UK to, or someone suggested Menorca in the 757 in the next few days. Might do that this weekend, we'll see. Oh yeah, right, best set the local QNH as we're going down to 6,000 feet, so that is 1019. So we're only flying this sort of procedural approaches today, so there should be any requirement for ATC. You could do this like this. And it where your source is from Europe for the Orfo guys, I use Bing Maps, so I used Bing Maps. The chap for UK to Balearic Islands. Krasuzu, I've done more UK to the Balearic Island flights than any other. Smithy 5000, hey man, sorry to bother you. No, you're not bothering me at all. That's what the stream's all about. Sim looks amazing. Do you think with an i7, blah 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 blah, I can get my sim to look real schmexy? He says, no idea. My specs on my PC's below, and it seems to run explain just fine. I've got this and the Streamlabs OBS running in the background, but I have no issues or anything there. So yeah, look, we've just passed 33 miles, 30. I should think we're about here, so I'll just show you. I'll put the aircraft icon on. There we are. And we'll carry on going towards Didymon. And this is what it's all about. Needles, DME, you can navigate very accurately. Well, this was the way we learned to fly instrument rating. I flew over Airfo last year, and he did his whole IR on a Diamond. Flew a Cessna 172 with G1000. He never not had all this fancy stuff. So, you know, part of the recurrency training every 3 years, we look at some raw data flying, and he's not looking forward to that. It's important that you know how to fly like this. I think that you're still exposed to that at least. Right, put the seatbelt sign on. Captain Finn, were you jumping when you got your first job as a pilot? Yeah, I was pretty excited. Smithy 5000, are you running any plugins? Again, if you look at the video description below, you'll see all the plugins I'm currently using. Cool, so 17.2, and then I want the ILS on standby as well, which is going to be 1105. So we put 1105 here. We're probably a little bit low. We want to be around 10,000 feet. We've still got 20 miles to go. We're actually much lower than I thought we'd be, but 20 miles, nah, actually, I think we're pretty close. Rimke, how do you set minimum altitude when it's over 999? On this aircraft, I mean, you're just going to have to remember what it is, so when you get to the height, there's no way of really bugging it here. You can just bug it to the nearest 100 feet, and then, you know, keep an eye on this. It's quite challenging to fly this single pilot on the desktop simulator. I think I might hand fly this anyway when we get a bit closer. Octavio Arumbra. Hi Captain, what age did you become a pilot? Started flying when I was 15 years old, or 14, 15 gliders. Flew solo on my 16th birthday. Did my PPL, which was self-funded when I was 18. Selling chickens for 3 years. And then I went to flight training school at age 20 with a big loan. Will 185 just got back. Are we coming into land? Yes, we'll be landing in approximately 15 minutes. So 290 at 5 knots in Athens. There is a slight tailwind for this approach, but nothing strong. A little bit low here, but we'll keep descending down to 6,000, which is our minimum altitude. Bring that speed back to 250 knots now. Get rid of a bit of parasitic drag. Where is 250? There it is. That's the bug for 250. Wipeout Aviation, have you flown the 200 in real life? Nope, I haven't. Many ways very similar to the NG. Obviously a lot less automation. Missing the FMC and the ND. Otherwise very similar. So many things that are very similar as well. Farmer Video, have you heard of Ken Dravis? I haven't. No idea who that is. A little bit yawing here. Where's that servicing? No reports. You never know what could happen. Damian Kovac, excited Flyjsim 2020 going to bite? Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what happens. I do have a copy of the beta version, or whatever it is, alpha. I've got a copy of it. I haven't looked at it recently, but I do have it on my PC. But again, as with everyone in the beta, there's an NDA, so I can't discuss anything regarding that. Airland, can a Boeing 737 NG auto-land without Cat 3 ILS? Yes, you can do an auto-land off any ILS, technically. Obviously for Cat 2, Cat 3 you need to have the required minimum, and the airport needs to have the required facilities, but an auto-land is capable of any ILS, regardless if it has a Cat 2 or Cat 3 certification. Cool, so that worked out really nicely, that 3 times your height. I thought it was actually a little bit low, but we're going to keep going down to 6,000. We're approaching Didymon. Actually, we're very close to Didymon. I didn't realise how close we are. I'm just going to go heading select here, as we fly over the top. And we're going to go outbound from Didymon, just to show you where we are. We're going to be about here. There we are. We'll get rid of that chart now. And we want to fly outbound from Didymon on this course of 054. So we're going to go 054, start turning now as well. Siri keeps listening to me. Go away. 054. We'll keep going down to 6,000 feet. Might have overshot slightly. I'm just going to go back onto this sort of heading. Just going to add a little bit of... we're going to speed back to 220. That's just going to slow everything down for us. Do the post-cruise checks now, so it gets a little bit busier. Those on, fuel, light safety's off, pressurization set, seatbelts on, recool. Yeah, checks complete. So now intercepting. Let's turn this off, otherwise you'll think I'm cheating. 054. And then when we get to this 218 radial from SAT, which I won't bother tuning, we're just going to go straight onto the localizer with this track. We know we're getting close. Back to Vorlock. And Vorlock. Cool. So looking good. We haven't done our landing performance, so fuel-wise, not even checked this once, done no paperwork. We've got, what's it called in pounds, so 10,000 pounds of fuel. All good. All this non-metric. Haven't looked at any of these checks. I'm hoping we're all good and legal. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Yes, landing. Let's do flap 30, set bugs. I think we're at the up speed there. 128 knots. Quite light today. So we can step down to 5,000 feet until we're 13 miles away. So we can go set 5,000 here. Captain Finland, how do I become a member? If you click the join icon, it is £5 a month, but you get a lot more bang for your buck. You'll keep up to date with what I'm up to. You get a lot more personal insight into my life as a captain, role as a captain. You can ask me questions whenever you like, and that's all done through Discord. And you'll also be able to partake in the monthly group flights, which you do try and organise. Matt Sterling, what's the purpose of the recall check? If there's any faults which you might have missed, over here, like a light that's illuminated, by pushing this, it'll highlight any existing master cautions. So we always do that at 10,000 feet my operator, and just prior to landing checks, or as part of a landing checks as well. So approaching 13 DME. What I'm going to do now is tune the ILS on box 2, which is 1105. Got the DME here. We'll put the final approach course for the runway on the ILS, which is 032. You can see here 032. Put it on the FO side, and you can already see. Look, oh, is that the glide slope for this approach? No, it's still out of range. I was going to say I would have nailed that, but we're well out of the range at the moment. We have got the DME though, 032. That should come in nicely. Actually, you know what? Is that we're actually on the glide slope? No, there it is. We're a bit low on the glide slope. I was going to say, but we'll keep it coming down. 13 DME. There we go, so 13 DME, we're exactly here. There we are, so we can now step down to 3,000. Rocksmate, thanks for getting the weather. You can see, very nice. No excuses today. 30, 60, 90, so we're quite low on this approach here. So what I'm actually going to do is add a bit of thrust, just so we can do around 1,000 feet per minute, or a bit less than that. So you can just times this by 3 to work out your height, as you should be, where you should be roughly. I've added thrust because we're in like indicated airspeed pitch mode, so it's very much like level change on the NG, so you can just add thrust and the aircraft will alter its rate of descent to maintain that speed. Well, 185, have you ever flown into Queenstown, New Zealand? No, not in real life, neither in the sim. I'd like to do some more worldwide flying, go to some other places, but I only have Ortho for Europe, so it's a bit of a pain to have to, you know, install that stuff there. See, there we are, there's the airport. Well, that's quite a successful flight. Damian Kovac, what glides did you fly? Pukats, a Polish-built glider, forward swept wings, and a grob. Whatever the grob was, the grob called, I don't know, it was a grob. That's as much as I can remember. So still on that 054 radial outbound from Didymon. James, Birmingham doesn't seem to have the altitude alarm like the 727. I think it's because we haven't been close to our cleared altitude. That only comes on, well, in the NG 900 feet away. Okay, localizer's coming alive on that side. Why is that showing me left of the localizer? It should be, this should be here. Thank you very much, Woody Sealbinder, for becoming a member, and welcome to the channel as a member. Glad you're enjoying all of the content, and welcome on board. Thank you very much. Interesting. Ah, there we are. It's now on the correct side, look. So what we can do now is go heading select here, and then we can come up the ILS on both sides now. So we'll ditch that, we'll keep that chart there for now. 032 is the course. And 110.5, got the ILS tuned both sides. There we are, so a bit low, so we're going to move to auto approach here. Lock. No, flight directors have gone all guffy. What do I want? Nav lock on the flight directors. No, I want heading on the flight directors. Heading, there we are. Flight directors should be correct. So the glide slope's coming in nicely. Localizer's coming in nicely. Looking good here. I want auto approach. So it should intercept the localizer now. Yes, we're intercepting that. Glide slope's coming in very nicely. More of Pierre Grob is such a fun name, it means grave in Polish. Alright, know that. Flight directors I want now on full lock. Cool. Well, that was a really good flight. Honestly, I've not planned this. Usually when I fly an aircraft like this, I like to kind of test the flight first. It's actually going better. So moving forward, I wouldn't test any of the aircraft. I just jump straight in. Right, so glide slope's armed. You see it's coming in nicely. And glide slope capture. What is the missed approach altitude here? Climb straight ahead, intercept radial 032 from SAT. We're going to put that on standby there, 1096. Now this is my standby sign. That is so confusing. So it's holding its speed really nicely with idle thrust. 12 miles. We're going to select flap 1 now. Like about 180. Actually going to go straight to flap 5. Should wait till flap 1 first, but yeah, close SAT, and we're going to make a right turn, intercept kind of 5,000, so we can punch in 5,000 feet here. There we go. Oh, Slippy Bird to 200 today. What's the flap 10 speed in the 200? 210 knots. Oh, going a little bit fast. Get a bit of speed break out here so I can go flap 10. We're going a bit quick here. There it is, 210 knots. And go flap 10 now. That'll help us slow down. Stow the speed brake now. I'll leave it armed for the approach actually. There we go. Keep slowing down. Looking good. Will 185 you cheeky rocket tower, get the fire crew ready. Yes. Actually, what's happened to the ortho here? It's gone a bit weird, but I'm guessing that's the fly Tampa scenery has overridden that. Because I've lost all the pretty looking scenery on this approach. We're struggling to slow down here. Might have to go gear and right. Oh, order brake. Well done. Let's go medium. I haven't even briefed the taxi. We'll vacate in the middle. This taxiway, hopefully, park somewhere over there. There we go. Briefing complete. Well, I'm going to have to drop the gear, I think. What's flat 15 placard speed? 195, no problem at all. I get down flat 15, landing checks the flaps, start switches, low ignition, recall check, speed brake is armed, green light, landing gear down to green, order brake is set to medium, holding on the landing flap, start spooling those engines up, 25 flap 30. There we are, fantastic. Here we are, established on final, just adding that thrust to get to our target speed. So flaps 30, green light, lights are on. Oh, imagine we got our landing clearance, there we are. Checks complete, clear to land. Guys, wish me luck, thank you very much. 610 people watching this approach. I don't think I've got 610 likes, so if you are enjoying the video, I am a YouTube streamer. I appreciate all the thumbs up. Just like and subscribe to keep up to date with the latest content, as I am about to fall out the sky because I'm too busy trying to promote the channel and not monitor my speed. Let's get back up to our target speed. Thank you very much, guys. Checked. Right, there's our target speed. Let's disconnect everything. And let's see where we get on. So I've still got the clunky old flight directors on this thing, which I think are absolutely rubbish. I found it really difficult to follow, but that's the way they were on this sort of aircraft. So I'm going to primarily look outside. Target speed, I think our VREF was, I don't even remember, 128, so we're flying about 133, 135 knots on as our V-fly. And there is Athens straight ahead of us. little bit low on the glide slope, 3 red, so I'm going to pitch up about 500 feet per minute. There we are, back on the profile. Keep descending. Now, it's really off-putting here because it happens at certain airports where there's a different colour shade of the runway and it looks like the threshold. So you see that darker asphalt colour. It's really off-putting. Unless it's a displaced threshold, I have no idea because I've not looked at any of the charts. I'm just going to follow the pappies in. Slight displaced threshold, but still you can see the colour change is off-putting. There's the VOR. The SAT VOR. I'm going to go over the top of it. So much for the minimums, they're a little bit too low, I think.
Minimum.
Continue. Definitely not right. That's why you don't use above ground level. Oh, can't even clear it. Right, here we go. Nice long runway, no excuses.
100.
Keep it descending.
50. 40. 30,
Check. Close.
10.
Hold the attitude. I'm going to float this out. Oh, minus 170. No. Right, speed brakes up. There's reversers. Slowly add that thrust up. 100 knots. There's 80 knots. Manual braking. 60 knots. Slowly reduce the thrust to idle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Athens in Greece. And however you say good morning or good evening, Athens, I have no idea, but welcome. We've made it in one piece. A nice flight with conventional navigation. Done reasonably accurate. I'm quite pleased with that. That was a lovely little short flight. Awesome stuff. Let's stow the speed brake. Didn't even look at where we vacated. We're at Alpha 10. Alpha 10. Ah, that's useful. Right, we need to make a right turn backtrack there. I floated a little bit too much there. No problem. It looks like I can't make a right turn and backtrack, but we can. No, let's go actually via Kilo. We'll find somewhere to park over there. Cool stuff. Right, we're going to do high-speed taxi here. I'm debating whether to carry on the stream and do the sector back. Up to you guys. What's the time of the UK here? It's 11:15. I've got no plans tomorrow morning. So it's up to you. If you want me to do the return sector, let me know. No doubt some of you will, but those of you, a lot of people in Europe will be wanting to go to bed. Oh, we do like a nice high-speed taxi at Alpaca Airways. Cool. So we'll do the rest of the tidy up. Or the clean up, not tidy up. What am I on about? Right, strobes off. This can come off. This can come off. Trim would be set. Transponder to out off. Oh my goodness, get back onto the taxiway. Yes, yes please, let's do it. Alright guys. No, I want to sleep, says Freddy. Please do return sector. Oh, go on then. I'll do it. Probes can come off. Brake, 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 brake. I think this is where we need to turn right. Because the longest taxi in ever. Sleep is for the weak. Right, what else do we need to tidy up here? Off. Autopilot's all off here. I think we're good. Did I turn the weather radar off? Nope. Off. Flaps. No, I didn't select the flaps up. There we are. Good. This is what we call progressive taxi. Not the fact that you're following someone, you're just making a really good, really good progress. Speed brake, do not arm. There we are. Crossing the bridge. Making excellent progress to our stand. I think what we'll do, we'll take off runway 21 left for departure, so it's a much shorter taxi. So we guys want to go to Istanbul. We will go to Turkey soon, but I actually did file a flight plan for the return flight to Corfu, simply because, one, I have the scenery, two, I thought it'd be quite a good fun approach to try, because it's VOR, which I've never tried to do a non-precision approach in this whole 200. Right, let's go find... Oh, look, Olympic. Let's go park in the Olympic hangar. Should be close for our departure point. We'll take a look at the replay anyway. Yeah, we've only been streaming for an hour. That was a super short flight. Thank you. Yeah, I was hoping to get a bit more of a buttery landing in there, though. Fortunately, we didn't quite manage it. So yeah, let's go park in this maintenance hangar, and then we could go for 2-1 left for departure. UK Bay crewing require you to operate the return leg due to crew sickness. Many thanks. Oh, I was hoping for a quick shot of Ozu on my downtime here. Oh well, crewing is crewing. Oh, let's go park ourselves here. Look, it looks like there's some buses coming for us. I can actually make a left turn. I think what we'll do, we'll just do a handbrake turn in front of the Olympic hangar. Yeah, we can go put ourselves with some biz jets. Just making sure we're on the taxiway, guys. Yeah, let's park in front of here, and then we can kind of do a reverse out of here with the buckets, can't we? There we are. Let's plonk it here. Right in front of the hangar. Absolutely no one here. Right, let's bring it to a stop. Cool. Right, parking brake is set. APU's up and running. So, we are 2 blues, 1 red. Engine's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Athens. Fantastic. That was a great flight. Actually went really, really well. Let's open that. As you can see, light off. We usually wear it longer. Excellent stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Right, thank you very much to 13 who donated £2.49. El Maestro, he says. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm glad you enjoyed the content as we watch the engines spool down here. I'm just going to close off Project Fly. Oops, sorry, can't actually see the aircraft now. Where is it? Where's Project Fly? Complete flight. There we are. Complete. That gets rid of it for you. What does Project Fly say my landing rate was? It says it's minus 122, 132. Well, I think it was minus 190 or something on the other one. But yes, lovely flight indeed. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed that one. Listerman says 11 out of 10 would fly again. Listerman also says I feel like in a city bus. 5 minutes bottle to throttle. William Hedward says it's a little bit longer than that. No, I won't be doing any drinking during any streams. My goodness. Dilgo McTavish, 500 watching. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Yes, if you enjoyed that approach, watching a 737 NG captain sweat it out trying to fly the 737-200. Please give the thumbs up for the video if you want to stay up to date with the latest content. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Cool stuff. So yes, go on then, guys. It's approaching 11 o'clock, but we will do the return sector if I'm quick enough. Hopefully we'll be able in the next 15 to 20 minutes, so it will be all done by midnight. So some of you in the UK will at least be able to get some sleep. But I've got no plans tomorrow morning, so it's always a bit of fun to do these streams for you guys. Right, so let's cue the replay music. 1 hour 22 minutes. Please hold it together, explain as we do the replay. There we are, that's perfect. Let's have a look from the threshold first. I said it was really quite nice weather, so no excuses for hard landing today. Smoky Joe. Yeah, a bit of a displaced threshold, which is why we're still flying. Look at there's a classic Flyjsim. You can see the nose wheel there. Oh, it was only about a foot off. Yeah, it could have been a bit smoother. We didn't block it down. Let's do it for around there. Nose wheel turning. Oh, I love that little tyre squeak they do there. That's so cool. There's the buckets going up as well. Let's do that tyre squeak one more time. Awesome stuff. Cool. Oh, someone's purchased some merchandise. Well, thank you very much, whoever that was. Chat will make my morning, Porter Mug. That will make my morning, Porter Mug. Thank you very much. That will make my morning. I'm glad you bought a mug and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed many a drink from said mug. Awesome stuff, guys. Right, what I'm going to do then, I will do one more landing from this view. You can then enjoy the taxiing, and I'll be I'll be ready to go by the time we easily get on stand. I might end the replay. I'll just get the thing sorted in the background, and we'll do the return sector very shortly. I'll see you in a second, guys. Thanks a lot. Well, guys, welcome back. Thank you very much for that brief intermission. I got everything set up for the return sector to Corfu. I don't know what the passengers at NASA are about in the background, but they clearly enjoyed the flight. But we've done our quick fuel stop, got some parts from Olympic Airways with their old 200, as we need to ship back to Corfu. And yeah, we'll do the return sector. So flight will be around 45 minutes or so. And we'll get the aircraft reconfigured for departure accordingly. Right, so APU's on the bus. Let's get the APU bleed on. We won't bother getting any GPU connected, as we're going to be hopefully starting engines in the next 5 minutes or so. Let's get rid of this chart and taxi. I think you're going to be pretty happy with, guys. We're going to probably just make a sharp right turn. Actually, no, we'll need to power back off this stand, and then we'll go out here left. Very short taxi for runway 21 left for departure. Not exactly sure what the preferred runway for departure is in Athens, especially at this time of day, but certainly for the ease of it, we'll go all the way to this whole point. You don't want to watch me taxi all the way to the other end of the airport. The departure we're going to be flying is the Core 1 Foxtrot, which is the Cornifos 1 Foxtrot. So we'll try and find that here. There we go, Core 1 Foxtrot departures. So it's a conventional SID, which is good for us. We're going to climb straight ahead all the way until we're 23 DME from Athens, so it's a long way to go. So we're going to put 17.5 for Spa, sorry. 17.5. Make that active. And we'll set the runway QDM, which is 212 on here. So we'll twist that all the way around, which is a bit of a pain, but if we need heading select for departure, it needs to be matched up. So that is set. And the radial 203, so we need 203, again, it's 180 degrees away, so you're going to have to twiddle it all the way around, because we're taking off from the reciprocal runway. It's a big threat, actually. If they change the runway for departure, you have to try and remember to match your heading bug, because you get some dodgy flight direct indications if you forget to do that, and you're using heading select for departure. So the courses are set, nice easy SID look. Climbing straight ahead, 203, 23 DME. Also, they're going to make a right turn inbound to Didymon, which is, again, 17.2. It's exactly what we, the VOR we flew into. We're actually then going to use an ADF to navigate to, which is most unusual to find on a SID these days. It's going to be the 3922 Cornifos. So we'll tune up 392. Again, I cannot remember if this is the captain's or the first officer's ADF, or if it's ADF 1 or ADF 2. I'm going to check remind me, because there's one up here as well as down there. There's one here. I think this is the the box 2. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put 392 on both, because we're only going to be using one anyway. So yeah, nice simple SID, straight ahead, right, left, inbound there, and then the flight plan is going to take us directly to that VOR. Again, we flew en route to the Alfa Romeo X-Ray, and then onwards to Kakira for the VOR approach. So we need charts. We'll ditch that one. We want the second flight plan, which I just moved into the folder prior to starting this next sector. We're going to go up to flight level 260. Again, we're not anticipating anything lower because we're not no ATC, so we'll just whack that in here. And just to show you where we're going, there we are. So there's the SID. SID terminates there, so we'll give it a bit of a loop, and then we're going to route to the en route VOR, which is the Alfa Romeo X-Ray, and then direct to Kirkira VOR, which is here for the approach into Corfu. That's it. Just missing some of the questions here. I'll catch up with you before we get the engine started. Discussion here on lift. Interesting. Can you try and fly the Mad Dog Aviation 365? That's the MD-80. Yes, that is on the to-do list, but we are going to go into the flight factor in the next week. Haven't decided when I'm going to stream that yet. We'll be doing that soon. Lister doing upgrading to first class. You're wearing your pyjamas and slippers. Outstanding. Rocksmith, usually pilots calculate that due to several other more important things. Not sure what you were asking there, but again, I'll try and catch any questions you have on these kind of short flights, especially flying an aircraft like this. They are quite intensive. Right, so imagine we've got engine start clearance, packs off, and at... oh gosh, we'll update all this, haven't we? So we're now cruising at 260 cabin altitude. It's going to be pretty much the same. 25, 26, 3,900, so it's an extra 500 feet. We'll do it all properly. And the elevation in Corfu is also 3... oh, no, that's... no, wrong airport. Corfu is sea level, so 6 feet. We'll put that to 0. Oh no, you can actually set this to the nearest 10 feet. Look, I forgot you could do that. 200. Happy days. Right. I think we're all good. Anti-collision light is on. Transponder to out off. Right. Starting engine number 2. Awesome. Do love all these sounds. Captain Epidemic, good evening, he says. Good evening to you as well. Well, Project Fly says I'm in a Boeing 738. Ooh, I'll change that in a second. Let's just get the engine started. Probably have to terminate the flight if I do that. On Project Fly, I can change that in the background. I'll cancel that and just quickly refile another one then. I forgot to change it to... delete flight. Yes, new booking. I'll create that and put it back in the 737-200. That says that. That says Corfu. Manually enter booking. I'll start the first engine. Don't usually have to do that in reality. Worrying about this sort of stuff. Alpaca 02. Charter IFR. It's the 200 we are in. Yes. Offline. Book and dispatch. Paste route. Yes, here we are. Dispatch. Fly now. So it should have updated that for you guys. Let's get some fuel onto the aircraft. So exhaust gas temperature, RPM, stabilizes quite a high-end one compared to the CFMs, around 35%. These are turbojet engines. There we are. Good. So now it says Boeing 737-200. Right, that looks like 2 good engine starts. Let's do the before taxi flow. Hacks on. Auto. AP bleed is off. That's set to flight. Take performance. Set our bugs. That's the beauty. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Desktop simulator just does it for you. Flaps for departure. Flat 5. Flight controls. Forward. Full back. Left centre. Right centre. Here comes the rudders. Full right centre. Full left centre. Recall. And then we'd read the before taxi flow. I just realised. So making the departure here. Just want to make sure we've got it all set correctly. Well, I want 17.5 on box 1 and 2 initially. Yeah, there we are. So DME. There we are. Both reading 2 DME. Excellent! Right, so let's release the parking brake. Never turned the lights off, look, so there we are. Advance the thrust. No takeoff config warning horn. Make a right turn and make that short taxi to runway 21 left. Well, you can't. There we are. Just want to have nose thrust on the inboard engine.
40,
Help her turn.
30,
Mr. Swedish Piano coming in with another donation, 22 Norwegian krona. Wait, you'll fly back, but I need sleep. Yes, I know. I'm obviously at least an hour behind you in the UK. So what is it here? Just past 11 o'clock. I'll be in bed before midnight, which is around the same time I go to sleep. What is it with me and streaming at the moment with suicidal ground staff? Look at this guy in his tug baggage cart. He is a nutter. Reverse pushback. Yeah, we could have done it. I did actually say I was going to do that, but there was enough room. Carlson4242, do you fly Airbus on your channel? Well, I'm not an Airbus pilot, But I do occasionally fly the Airbus because it's extremely entertaining to watch a Boeing pilot try to find his way around an Airbus aircraft. So yes, I've done a couple of streams in the Airbus A319. One about a month ago, flying into London City, and then one about a year ago or so, flying into Toulouse. But if you look on my channel or search YouTube Flight Sim Airbus, I'm sure you'll find the video that you're looking for. Oh, that's an interesting place to put a helipad. Cool. So, right, left, holding point Delta 13 for runway 21 left. Sin Zen Kitchen, what sim is this? This is X-Plane 11. Tim Skipper, what's your arrival chart? I'll be flying the Maled 1 uniform, I think it was. The Maled 1 uniform. Right, let's do the before takeoff checklist. So config, we checked. Flaps, we have 5 with green light. Stab trim is set for departure here. Takeoff briefing. Packs are on in the 200. Bleeds are on. V-speeds are set for departure. I think. Let's bug around 200 knots. No FMC to check. We know what our VR is, around 128 knots set. Our departure then is going to be the Corfu. 1 Foxtrot. We're going to climb straight ahead, intercept the 203 radial from Sierra Papa Alpha, which is on the field. Outbound until we're 23 DME. We'll then make a right turn to Didymon, and a further right turn towards the Corynthos NDB. Climbing straight up to our cruise level, flight level 260. And that is reviewed. Imagine the cabin is secure. Oops. Get the fasten seatbelt sign on as well. Oh, I'll try and set it. Can't do the no smoking sign. There we are. Happy days. There we are. So holding point Delta 13 for runway 21 left. I'll imagine we've got our clearance to take off. Just get a latest update on the weather. Yeah, no wind, clear skies, 8 degrees, live weather. It's perfect. QNH is 1019, so we can fine tune that, I guess. There we are. So I imagine we've got our takeoff clearance. We'll enter the runway. Strobes on. So MCP is set. Transponder, TARA strobe lights are on. Landing lights are on. Weather radar as well. Why are we not moving forward? Weather turbulence. There we go. Must be a bit uphill here. Checks complete. So again, we'll aim for that target thrust setting. I use the same in the 200. I've got no accurate takeoff performance tables or graphs. Long runway here. We're quite light. Oh my goodness! I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to put more fuel on board. Oh dear. This could be interesting. I know what you'd like me to do. I think you'd like me to attempt to get there with the amount of fuel I already have, but I think we'd struggle. I forgot to update it. Let's have a look. I don't think we're going to make it. If we do, we're going to be on fumes. The beauty is with the Flyjsim, we can update that on the runway. Do it! I know you guys would say that. There's a tailwind, Tony Mitchell. Right, let me just double check this. Right, so let's have a look at the flight plan. I'm sat here wasting fuel, trying to find the information out. Oh no, charts. Page 1. There we are, page 2. Here's our flight. Athens to Corfu. It's 6.2 tons, absolute minimum. And we have on board 4 tons. Trip fuel is 2.4 tons, so we should get there, but with 1,500 kilos to spare, our fin res is 1,100, so we'll be landing with around 35-40 minutes of fuel remaining. It's doable. Is it legal? Absolutely not. This is the minimum block fuel. I love the chat. Clear for takeoff, no delay, please, says Listerman. Michael must have plenty. Yeah, do it. You technically only need 2.4 to get there. Yeah, technically. Throw passengers off to lighten the load. There's... you know, a part of my professionalism is wanting me to put that fuel. Banter-wise is telling me, yeah, just because the desktop simulator. No, I'm going to put the fuel on me. I know it's. Oh look, cannot change fuel load unless on the ground. Engines off and parking brake is set. Oh no, unbelievable. I'm not shutting the engines down. Right, please. Do not take any example from me as I'm about to take off with less fuel. I don't want to shut the engines down and refuel on the active runway. Just imagine you're on Flyjsim right now. How embarrassing. Right, okay. As I said, these live streams are not to be taken seriously. Let's do it. Parking brake released. Any delays or anything, we're in serious trouble. Just refuel the plane with X-plane refueling. No, I think that might bugger it up. Alright, here we go. I don't think I can even throw any passengers off without shutting the engines down either. I hope we can make it. Alright, takeoff thrust is set.
80 knots.
Checked. Yeah, who needs alternates anyway? We can't have any alternates with this.
E1. Rotate.
Up we go. And we're airborne. Positive rate of climb. Gears coming up. And trim. Right. Let's pitch around 160. I'm going to make that slight turn. Well, no, just maintain heading. We should intercept the radial here. Should be a slight left turn coming up very shortly. We'll start pitching down and accelerating. Flaps one. Torsten, did someone on the group flight land with 400 kilos? Yeah, that was Richard. He accidentally used pounds instead of kilos. And flaps coming up. Let's bug around 220. See, no one will know any different. It's hard to read these gauges. But that's a big no-no, obviously. Yeah, if you realise you got to the whole point, you don't have enough fuel, back onto the stand you go. Right. I'm not concentrating, I'm too busy looking at the chat. Let's make a left turn to intercept the radial. Flaps are up. Looking good. Bug 250, pitching nose down and trimming nose down to maintain that speed. Pulling a Gimli, yeah, Gimli glider, that's exactly what happened. Pound kilo conversion issue. Issue with the fuel indicating system. Right, there's 250, we'll pitch up now. Maintain that speed, let's get some nice automation on. On. Indicated airspeed hold, and here comes the localizer as well, so we go Vorlock on the flight directors. Aircraft should start. Why is it turning left? It should start turning right, really, because it's going to go straight through it with that sharp turn. Look how close we are. Oh no, maybe not. A bit aggressive, but we did it. Right, after takeoff, check this. Gear up and off. Oh gosh, better reduce the thrust actually before we blow these engines up. You can see, look, the temperatures get quite high on all this. Pressure's high, but yeah, we'll reduce the thrust. Let's take off checklist. Air conditioning and pressurization. Diff pressure's increasing. Good. And set. And release the passengers. Yeah. Ooh. Cigarettes can be ignited. Jessica, please. Listerman, fuel was too expensive in Athens anyway. FNLN, less fuel, less weight, less consumption, less fuel needed. Yes, not to the point where you're going to be running on fumes. Oh dear, we'll have a look when we get there. Right, anyway, we need to go outbound. We've got 23 DME. So we're only 10 miles, quite a long way on this track. I should really give myself some decent shortcuts, really. I'll just stick with the SID for now. Oh, can I just go direct to this waypoint, please? Direct to the NDB. Are we picking it up? Yes, look, can I just go direct to the NDB? No problem. Alpaca 02, route direct to Corinthos. I think I might do that. We'll just get the aircraft configured for the cruise anyway. Right, let's go up to 300 knots. Fuse off. Pressurization, fire, 4.5, set. Release the passengers. Recall. There we are, checks are complete. Yeah, I'm gonna self-position to Corinthos. Alpaca 02 route direct to Corinthos. Approved. Got the. Yeah, that's the RMI. Just route direct to the point the needle towards it. Happy days. Heading select. That's gonna save myself, especially in the climb. A few hundred kilos. Oh no, I think I might need it. Dougal, you cheaters, straight to the NDB. I need to give myself everything here. I'm not really taking much of a shortcut. I should have done it at 2,000 feet, really. Right, so that means we can ditch this and then go to the first en route VOR we can tune now, which is Alfa Romeo X-ray again, which was frequency 112.4. You see, I'm taking that shortcut. Look. Oh no, we'll do it like this. Can't transfer, can we? There we are. So we're just going to route direct to the NDB. I'm going to put ADF both on this to make it easier. And there's no DME associated with this, so you've got to keep going towards the needle until they swing. And you can tell geographically, it's like a little bit of land in between the two, so it's around here somewhere. We can get everything tuned up afterwards. So after Kilo Oscar Romeo, the initial track is going to be it's 246,329. It's going to be 276 after the VOR, so we need to put 276 here. Can't believe that, that's funny. I must stress, like, don't judge my cavalier attitude to desktop simulation to the sort of approach I take at work. I wouldn't dare do that, obviously. But this is Alpaca Airways, you know. Our operations manual is written or by hand. It's on an A4 notepad piece of paper. We make our own rules. Good. Glide thrust is fine. How much fuel have we got on board? 4,000, 3,500, 7,000 pounds of fuel. Metric. 3,240 kilos. That's the sort of fuel I'd like to land at my destination with. Tom, I've just joined. What happened? Nothing. All good. Nothing to report. Oh, listen, you make it sound really bad. We forgot to refuel. Yes, I decided to do a second sector, and I forgot to load the fuel in this thing for the return flight. But thankfully, I put on just enough extra fuel on the first sector, an extra ton, to kind of allow us just to squeeze in. I tried to change the fuel with the engine started, but it didn't work. So we're trying to do a round trip there. We'll be landing with FinRes, final reserve intact, just about. Especially with this little shortcut that we're pulling off here. Right, I'm not mean. Look at this RMI. Look, we need to make sure we keep flying towards this NDB. Look at how I can chuck it in the tank. Malvi Brun really educative to watch the basic navigation being used while studying for the radio nav exam next week. Oh yes, you can see it in practice, I guess. Thank you very much, Torsten Schwartz, for the $2 donation. Glad you enjoyed the flight. Yeah, we saved a bit of money on this stream because we didn't get the fuel we needed, so thanks for that. That would definitely contribute towards the fuel bill. Torsten Schwartz, you got an SOP written by alpacas. Carlson 4240, do you answer what airline you fly for? I don't. It is kept to myself. It's a choice I personally make. So when we're directly overhead this NDB, it should coincide with the radial inbound to the VOR. So we're inbound to the Corinthos core VOR. So when we cut the corner massively, we're not going to Didymon, we're about here somewhere. There you are, look, you can see we're routing direct to the NDB. That's just to save a few hundred kilos of fuel.
50, 40.
Volprek, at least you didn't mix up the pounds kilos like Air Canada. Yeah, that's true. I haven't done it in real life, that's the important thing. Thanks a lot, Volprek. Yes, if you are to make that mistake, this is the perfect environment to do it in. Listen, you could call in a Casey Stratotanker. Actually, I think you can call in air-to-air refueling in Explain 11. I'm not going to dare try and do that. Dougal McTavish, Nightbot command for that question. Yes, Dougal, that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. It's only set on a timer at the moment, so every 10 minutes it reminds people that that question wouldn't be answered. Hopefully get that sorted. Positive rate at 100,000 subs, do we get to know what airline? Nope. Have 1 million subs, I still wouldn't say. Cool, so still routing towards the Corinthos NDB. And that's nicely coming in with the radial inbound to whatever it's called, Araxos. That's a command to the half list of it. Right, I'll hopefully see the needle drop in a second. Fine tune our heading, just to make we're kind of drifting all over the place here. So I don't know what the exact wind is, so can't really calculate my drift here from the RMI. Only 2,000 feet to go. I think flying now inbound to Araxos. We'll go Vorlock. It's going to make that turn, so we won't quite reach the NDB. You can see that the needle's just starting to swing. So we're cutting the corner a little bit as we fly into that radio around there. But there we are. There you go, you see the needle dropping. That's the NDB passing off to the left-hand side. We can go back to VOR on both sides. Good stuff. Cheapo D8 just shut off the engines, you'll save loads of fuel. I like the logic. Captain Philip, do you have a girlfriend? Yes. One of 6 years. Mariana, who does often pop in during the streams. Usually with a nice cup of tea. Should I shout a little bit louder? She might hear. Tom, would shutting an engine off save fuel in a modern jet? Not, absolutely not, because if you shut off an engine, all of a sudden you've got a 7-ton lump of metal acting as drag. It certainly wouldn't save fuel shutting one off. Well, there we are. Yes, if you have a interview coming up with any airline and they ask a question, you're at the whole point and you realise you don't have enough fuel to get to your destination, do not answer, yes, I'll be alright, because I'll be landing with more than final reserve. This figure here, block fuel, is a legal minimum you have to take. Absolute minimum is this by the time you push back off stand. We took 2 tons less than that. Anyway, there's our cruise. let's not go as fast as we possibly can. Probably want to cruise no more than 300 knots. We're going to have to add thrust here. Sip, sip you JTD engine, sip. Oh yes, look, well done. So you said Q&H, yeah, don't forget to set standard. That's why there is 2 of us. Hopefully, look, it's going to make that adjustment for me. Look, it's going to climb right up to flight level. Look, as soon as one spots it, everyone spots it. Carlson, Q&H, thought you were a pilot. Not on this stream, by the looks of it. Take lesson required fuel flying on an altimeter setting in the cruise. Oh dear. This flight is not going as well as the first one, that's for sure. Right, anyway, let's get rid of all our Athens charts. I knew I should have only done the first sector. Where are we going to? Corfu. LG Kilo Romeo. So, arrival flying on the flight plan Meldu 1 uniform. Was it Mallard 1 uniform? No? Oh, it is Mallard 1 uniform. There we are. Mallard 1 uniform. And the arrival we're going to be flying is the... not arrival, the approach. VR Zulu 34 via Kikira VR. So we're going to fly inbound to Kikira from this kind of direction. We're going to go straight over the VR, left turn, intercept, I think it's based off Goritza. Yeah, Goritza VOR, 343 inbound, and then descend with the procedure. Level off at 2,900 feet, and then we're 9 DME from Goritza. 8.8. 8.8 DME from Goritza, which is 7.9 for threshold. We're going to start this descent. 3.4 degrees, and altitude distance cross checks. Single pilot an aircraft like this without a vertical speed is too difficult. It's very, very difficult to do. So I might, once we get established on finals, disconnect. You need a pilot monitoring to be feeding you your altitude distance cross checks on this approach. It's very challenging. I've kind of avoided doing non-precision approaches in an aircraft like this because it is too much going on in a single pilot. You can't really do it. So we'll just work out where we need to descend like we did on the first one. So we're going to be flying this runway 34 approach via Maled. Kikira VOR then. Get that active at least on box 2, 14.7. So we've got DME counting down to 134 miles. We're at 26,000 feet. Let's call it 25 for easy mass. So we need 75 track miles. Kikira is around 9. I'd say 9 plus 5, about 15 miles. Let's call it 15 miles from touchdown. So 15 is going to be 4,500 feet. Want to bring it around there. Let's call it 5,000 feet, and we're at 26,000 feet. So let's call it. Let me just start again. 29, 15, 15. We're going to be at 5,000 feet here. At 21, so we need to lose 20,000 feet. We're going to be about 60 DME from Kikira. We're going to initiate our descent. 60 DME, 75. 75 times 150. Yeah, that should be working out fine. So around 60 DME from Kikira will initiate our descent. Maybe again a bit sooner. I think that's right. 15,500. Look at me trying to work out all this stuff. Yeah, around 60, 65 DME here will initiate our descent into Corfu, roughly 3 times our height. Kikira outbound then 256. We'll then need to quickly change the courses and everything to the Goritza VOR. We'll probably have that on box 1 already. And then we're going to try and make this turn into 343 inbounds. And yeah, I'm just going to try and get nice and low. I want to be kind of at 2,900 feet leaving Kikira, so it's going to make it a lot easier if we're level at that point and then fly the approach. So don't expect any smooth continuous descents. And then once we're on final, I'll try my best to use the control wheel steering in this aircraft, set a rate of descent. We're going to have to be doing around 1,000 feet per minute on the initial part of the approach, but I think if I can at least see the threshold, I'll just disconnect everything, try and configure. That's the best way of doing it. Alejandro, don't worry, Captain, I'm doing pilot monitoring for you. I'm I'm CPLIR low hour pilot waiting for my first job offer around the globe. Andrew, yeah, you finished at a quite stagnant time in Europe, but keep looking. There will be something out there. I can guarantee that. Good luck with the rest of it. So yeah, we can't really say anything. Minimums look at 2,000 feet, pretty high. So you only need to be here, you need to be visual at that point. So very, very high minimums. That's for straight in landing. There's nothing for me to set really. We're going to be at 2,900, so once we're at 2,000, I'll just try and disconnect everything, fly visually, and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, Kakira VOR from Maled, 317. We're approaching overhead that VOR now, 23 DME. As soon as we're overhead, we'll go to Kakira and we'll just line up our course to 317. And then just go from there really. Kakira VOR, level at 2,900, outbound 256, 153 from Goritsa, make that right turn to intercept the 343 inbound. Missed approach, well, not pretty complex, it just gets you away from the high terrain to the north. It's high terrain to the north of Corfu here. It's turn right, max 185, track 159, intercept the 114 from Goritsa, 20 DME, arc, which is here, all the way around to Bedex. We don't want to fly this today. If we go around, I'm going to do this turn, level off, do a circuit. This fuel. Alternate, we don't have an alternate, we're committed to Corfu because of the amount of fuel we've got. Talking about fuel, I don't think we'll get anything there. Look at it getting down. Ooh. Cool, so I hope that all makes sense. I'll try and answer any questions for the next 10 minutes or so. Matt Long says hi, Flyjsim. Hello to you. Frank William, I hope you don't need that go around looks like a fun DME arc. Oh, that's it'll be not too difficult to fly, not the needles to follow, but it's more the fuel that'll be an issue. FN in, this stream is like having all passengers as co-pilots, pretty much all the live streams we do. Tom, you had a QNH of 1056 the other day. That's pretty high pressure. Haven't seen anything like that over the UK for a while. There's been a lot of bad weather here. Storm Dennis, Storm Kira. I have no idea what's coming next. Yes, we are waiting for the 737 MAX to get flying again. Have to wait and see what happens there. You see the idle aircraft maybe appearing on the map soon. Oh no, none of a chance in Corfu showed the aircraft. Right, approaching the en route VR, Araxos. Can now put 14.7 active, and what's the inbound course here? 317. Put 317 here. I think we're going to be pretty much on it. Anyway, we are. Look at that. It's going to be a right turn. So let's go heading select briefly. Course 317. Kakira 14.7 on this box. Here comes the VOR. Boom, in. Four lock, and there's a right turn. And we're going to be coming in from Maled. Maled will be at 17 DME. Richard Asbos has joined the chat. Yes, Richard, I did exactly what you did the other day. Well, not quite. Managed to take off with a lot less fuel than I need. Unfortunately, Flyjsim doesn't have the ability to refuel the aircraft with the engine running, which is quite realistic, I suppose. But what do I say? 60 DME Rambo, going to start our descent. Very close. Oh yeah, it's just the landing performance. No APT here. Landing. Let's go flat 40 on No, I'm going to go flat 30, quite light today. 125, that should be fine. Set bugs. Does that give us our landing fuel? Yeah, I think that might be our landing fuel at 2,500 kilos. Yeah, but how does it know what that is? See how it's changing? Or is that the actual fuel on board right now? That's probably our actual fuel, isn't it? Oh, it is. That is our actual fuel. 2,500 kilos. Not nice to be waiting for descent with that amount of fuel there. Horrible. The only situation you'd be kind of having this amount of fuel is if you were diverting to your alternate, and you started your diversion with your minimum alternate fuel. So you'd be landing at your alternate with final res, fin res, which is never comfortable. Well, yeah, Paul F, I promoted you to moderator because you've been a member for a year now. Cool, and now we're bound to Kakira. Garitza 1088, put that active, on standby, sorry, 1088. That should be all the VORs we need for the rest of the flight. Richard, don't worry about the fuel, I'm sure you'll make it. Yes, if I don't take that sort of cavalier attitude to work. Cool. Well, I think this stream, if we all land successfully, we should be landing in half an hour. I don't think I've ever done 2 6s as quick as this. 2.5 hour stream. Lovely night. Obviously we're 12 hours behind live time, but you can see here the weather is splendid. Again, look at this heading we're flying to fly this track here. I don't think it's as windy as this. I mean, this is like, this would be like 100 knot wind coming in from the east or northeast. I'm having to fly this heading to fly that track now. You can already see it, look. Zoom in loads. Look, you see the RMI's, the CDI is already moving to the left, so it's not quite actually flying ahead. You see, look, it's slowly turning left. Listerman, you're cracking the banter today. Passengers calm, unbeknownst to the gravity of the situation. Could be potentially relying on gravity in about 40 minutes' time if we're still flying. So as I said, about 60 miles on initiate descent. I'm going to do it a little bit earlier again, just because I don't want to be ending up high. We can go straight into a hold at Kakira if we're high. Again, that is not what we want to be planning to do today. We can go straight inbound to the hold at Kakira if we're high. If we'll go straight outbound from 2,900. So let's dial in 2,900. Actually, is there a restriction bound from Mal-Edward terrain? There is 3,500 initially, so let's dial that in first. Makes it so much easier at ATC. So 3,500 set. Slightly reduce our thrust. Send again at around 280 knots. That's the best turbulence penetration speed in the NG when you're descending and climbing. And I'll flick this to indicated airspeed. Water brake, I'm going to put medium again. We're pretty light. Shouldn't have any issues getting in. Set idle thrust now. Richard, need to drop off. Catch you later, guys. Yes, it'll be getting quite late over in Scandinavia. Good night, buddy. Tony Mitchell, windy, is reporting northerly winds of 35 knots at flight level 240. Yeah, it's just, I think the Flyjsim sometimes is a bit lethargic tracking. Look, I mean, it's flying back now to the left, look on this heading. So it was 10, 15 degrees, now it's 5 degrees this side. And if you look at, well, you can have a look here, look. You can see on the track, look, it's just, it should be a little bit more rock solid on that inbound airway. We should be on this line here, look. And it's just going... we intercepted it. Here's that en route VOR I was talking about. We flew over Alpha Romeo X-ray, so it was a bit late turning. We should have turned about here early, but it's just a bit wavy. It should be a lot tidier getting back onto that radial inbound to Kikira. So we're on that airway, look, from Alpha Romeo X-ray to Kilo Romeo Kilo now. Cool. So 23,000 feet, around 20 minutes to landing, 25 minutes, I'd say, if you have just tuned it in. And as always, I must remind you, as Nightbot has, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date the latest content. What are you up to? I don't even know how many likes are up to. It's always, you always get you always get a lot less likes than you do have people watching. That's an absolute tongue twister. What have we got here? 373 people watching, only 317 likes. So don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the content. I see them going up. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Cool. So 50 miles till Kikira, plus the 15 miles after that. So around 65 track miles to run. 6, 12, 18, yeah, 21. I'd say we're pretty much good here. Remember, 17 DME from Kikira will be overhead of Maled. What I actually want to get tuned now is the final approach track on the FO side. So 343. And I'm going to give him Goritza as well. 1088. So this DME now is associated with the VOR on final approach. The Goritza VOR, this DME is associated with the Kikira VOR, which is the VOR used for the star, essentially, the approach there. And you'll see that we've got two RMIs, two needles on the RMI for both VORs. You'll see one here I'll be using on the approach to work out when to turn. Pull left, need to start tapping the fuel gauge. Might give you a little more. What are we down to? We're in the descent now. But yeah, down to 2,300 kilos. Final reserves. So when we'd have to declare a mayday is when we can see that we're going to be landing. Where's our flight plan? Just trying to find the figure here. 1,100 kilos. So if we can see that we're landing with less than 1,100 kilos, we'd have to declare a mayday. I think we'll be fine. And that was only because I took a little bit of extra fuel for the first sector. Listerman, does the fuel gauge vary depending on climbing or descending? Definitely not on the NG, but the 200, I think they're pretty accurate as well. Ian Short, do you always use X-Plane Captain? Yes, for streaming. I do have a copy of the Alpha Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Obviously I can't stream it or discuss my thoughts on that. Good, so around 50 plus a bit to turn some track miles. I'm about 60 track miles, being a little bit low, which is good. Might be a little bit low on the profile today. What's the seatbelt sign come on? These charts don't have the aircraft appearing on it. You can see that there's a high terrain to the northeast, 8,200. You don't want to be messing around here. Looking good. I do like this executive looking 200. I tried to download an Olympic one, but the paint was all broken. It was all like an aluminium looking. Yeah, I wanted the original Olympic one for today. So this one's pretty cool. It's 5:45 p.m. in Chicago. Why are you still up, dude? Said Justin. Well, it's only quarter to midnight here. It's not super late. Right, so 36, 90, 12, we're good. So 17 DME, 28 DME. We're doing absolutely fine here. Torsten, you have a new SOP in Discord. I can't wait to see what you guys have been up to post-stream. Tony Mitch, okay, need to get some sleep work tomorrow. We'll check out the landing crash in the morning. Good night. Or well, there won't be much of a fireball because there's no fuel left. Thanks, Tony. Sleep well. Awesome stuff. Some of the stuff here I've never used. Look at this pitch command thing. I've never used that in a 2. No idea what that does. I think you could just use that to set an attitude. That's about it, really. It is a very simple autopilot. I'm going to bring the speed back to 250 knots now. Climbing slightly. Oh. I love that. With the realistic squeaking sounds as well. That's so you can move your chair forward. So when you're moving, there's a little lever here. You hold that up. And you pull on that to move your seat. Don't grab the glare shield or anything like that. Frank William, it lets you set the pitch of the flight director in heading mode. And how do you get the automation to follow that? Do you have to select? No idea. I don't want to start twiddling. I just like the. I just use the level change function. It works well. So 17 DME. We should be at Mallet, and there's 17 DME. So we are directly overhead Mallet now. I want to be ideally at Kakira at around 3,000 feet. 20, 15, 20, 45, a little bit high here. New speed brake. Look at the effect. The speed brake on this is very good. Passengers are very happy. Right, look at that, dropping like a brick. Right, I want to bring the speed right back as well to 220. Let's slow it all down. Actually, I think that's the up speed there. I think it was about 200 knots before. Right, let's do the post-cruise checks. I'm going to turn all these lights on. Actually, we usually wait for the retracts, but I'm going to be busy on this approach. APU's off, pressurization 3.2 psi set, seatbelt signs on, imagine the cabin is secure, recool, all okay. Okay, so approaching Kakira VOR, what are we going to do? Oh, let's get rid of that. I'm going to go out about 256, I'm actually going to preset the heading here. Again, just making yourself always have to think ahead in an aircraft like this. What are you going to do at what stage? Especially single pilot, because you're having to do everything on your own. Just wanted to get a nice and low. I don't mind being level at 3,000 feet here for this approach. 256. When we get the 153 from Goritza, which we'll have for the VOR from box 2, so we're going to use this. So when the tail of this is on 153. Going to make that turn on to final. It's at 343 inbound. Go from there. FN in. Passengers are happy. Wait until you tell them the fuel situation. We're fine. We've got 2,300 kilos. Actually, it's actually alright, you know. The final reserves, if we commit to Corfu, you know, you can divert your alternate. Not that I'd like to ever do that, especially in Corfu. You know, so we've got over 1,100 kilos. We've got at least another 800 kilos on top. About 10 minutes we could hold before we got to our final reserve and landing. But yes, prevention's better than the cure. So, approaching Kakira. We are now 4 DME away. You can probably actually see the VOR next plane level. There it is. There is our VOR that we're flying straight to. That is so awesome. Look at that. I'm gonna go get ready to push heading select. And keep that coming down now. Was that definitely, what was the up speed? Doesn't come up on here. Set bugs. Oh, we'll do about 210. Get ready to push heading select. And we're going to go down to 2,900 feet now. Yeah, this is very low. Oh no, please don't level off or anything. Stow the speed brake now. So there's 1 DME. I think it'll be a good time to turn. So heading select over the VOR. So we're now on this heading of 256. Sorry, not 2. Did I say 259? 256. Now we need to wait until we're on the 153. So we need to wait for the tail of this to be on 153, and then we'll turn final. Cool. Now let's get these flight directors on to something better. Not Warlock. No, that's not flight directors. Heading. Okay, so we're now going outbound in this direction. We're dragging that tail towards 153. You see the tails being pulled up. As soon as that's on 153, we'll make that turn onto final, which is 343. It's starting to add some thrust as we're levelling off at 2,900. About 210 knots. There's the tail of that needle on 153, so we can now turn final 343, not taking any wind into account here. And we'll get the courses set up for final. So 343, come up here and select 1088. There we are, that's worked out really nicely. Here's the RMI coming in. We turned a little bit early, but we're good. And we need to maintain 2,900 feet until we are 8.8 DME. So I'm going to start selecting flat now, slowing down. You can even select Warlock here. .8 DME, how do I work that out? So we've got flap 1, let's bring the speed back to 180 now. Flap 5, there's the runway. 8.8 DME, yeah, we're a bit high here. So, oh, you know what? I'm going to disconnect, because I have no idea how to use this control wheel steering system. And I'm going to do it visually. Let's call it a visual approach now. Okay, flap 10. 7 dB, so we're a bit high here. I'm going to even use a bit of speed brake. I'm going to use the pappies, but we have altitude distance cross checks now. We can disregard that. Forgot to set the missed approach altitude. I want to be doing about 180 here. And I'm just going to use the pappies. 4 whites, a little bit high. Just a bit late descending. That is why it is so hard at this simulator. I'm going very fast at this stage as well, 190. I'm going to start levelling off here because I've got 1 red coming in, I think. Yeah, 1 red. Keep that runway around there. Speed's coming back nicely. We're calling this really a visual approach, but we are still on the VOR radial, the 343. You can see the RMI is fine. Right, let's stow that speed brake now. Arm it. How do I arm it again? There we are. We'll start configuring to land. So gear down, Flap 15. Landing checklist the flaps. Start switches, I hope they're continuous. We'll left them there.
1,000.
Check. Speed brake is on, green light. Landing gear is down 3 gears, selecting flap 30. Oh, approaching the landing gate as well at 500 feet. Order brake is set to medium, holding on landing flaps, which I've selected. Flap 30. Checks are complete. We're already way past the minimums. We were vision anyway. Yeah, look at my rate. Say way too high. Oh, I probably busted the gate there, but we'll continue. Oh no, I forgot to set the QNH as well. 1013. This aircraft is hard to fly, guys. Oh no. What was the QNH? 1019. Nothing to see. Oh, hopefully we'll butter it anyway. This is why it is so difficult to fly an approach like this in a desktop sim. You can't remember to do everything. Right, anyway, rest is looking good. I've got to butter this. I've got to try and butter this. Speed's a bit high.
Minimum.
Continue. Even though that minimums were about 2,000 feet.
100.
Check. Speed's good.
50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close. And oh,
Yeah.
the attitude. Oh, God, this aircraft is so wallowy and pitch. Come on. Oh, keep that there. Oh, it's so hard to fly this. Alright, speed brakes up. Reverses. Ah, it's so wallowy. Like you pitch it, it's very delayed compared to the NG. Right. Reverses are selected. Oh my God, you're crazy. Get off the runway. There's 60 knots. Going to idle. Ah, that landing was all over the place. And disengaging the order brake. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Welcome to Corfu. We arrived, plenty of fuel in the tanks. We still had the standard set, but we sort of half flew that approach. It was a bit delayed descent, but it came so quickly, that 8 DME. And because it's such a steep approach at 3.4 degrees, if you're late descending on this, it's very difficult to regain the approach. I think I was a little bit destabilised at the gate, but yeah, flying an aeroplane like this in a desktop simulator, it is a challenge, especially if it's a non-precision approach like that. But hey ho, we've made it. 2 sectors done, reasonably successfully. I do love this aeroplane. It's a challenge. It's very rewarding to fly. Alright, let's get the APU. I can't get that started from this position. There we are. And we'll take a right here. Exactly where we departed from earlier. I stow the reverses I did. Strobes coming off. Off. And the flight directors are off. Just got a funny message on Discord. Yes, very entertaining. Yeah, so yeah, don't forget, guys, prior to starting the engine, make sure you got the correct amount of fuel on board. Don't think I've ever done that in a live stream before. But I didn't plan that flight. I was only planning on doing the 1 sector, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what, let's do the sector back. I don't fly this aircraft enough to be able to do it. It's not easy to. There's no accurate way of reading the fuel gauges, and when you follow the checklist in real life, you know, you check using the checklist. You have the required fuel for your flight, so you never get into a situation like that. Hopefully. And then on that approach, yeah, the approach was nicely flown, got to 2,900, and then I think we were meant to start the descent here at 8.8 DME. I don't think we started until 8. It's 3.4 degrees approach. It's very steep, so if you're late descending, you can forget it. You know, I was pretty much, I think it was pretty close to getting in, going around there, or not getting in. I think if I delayed the descent by another 20 seconds, we would have struggled to get in. But that's what desktop simulation is all about. You know, you can see myself. I've got 25 years of using desktop simulators. Been flying the aircraft for the NG for 10 years, nearly, or 8 years. And you can see how hard it is for me to fly an aeroplane like this. It is a real challenge in a desktop simulator. But yeah, if you can fly this from A to B, like I've just done that, you're done well. You've done well. Cool. So let's get as close to terminal as possible. We'll go to exactly where we started earlier, stand 1, in front of the tug. See how much fuel we actually landed with. Ah, can't get the GPU on the bus here. Or APU on the bus. Let's fly back again, no refueling, says Erland. That would be a struggle. Let's bring it to a stop there. Cool stuff. Oh, speed brake's still out. Look, parking brake is set as stove out. Cool. So that can come off. That can come off. That can come off. And that can come off. Weather radar off. That can come off. Anti-collision light can come off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Corfu. Another Alpaca Airlines safe flight. Oh, listen, we've got a 12 out of 10 would fly that again. We made it indeed. Yeah, how much fuel did we actually have? Oh, plenty, look, 2.2 tons, that's fine. We had no problems at all. Awesome stuff. Crikey, look at that as well. It's just turned midnight here in the UK as well. It's roughly around the same time I wanted to finish the stream if we'd done 2 sectors as well. Wicked stuff. Oh, look, is that the slats just falling out as it loses hydraulic pressure? That's a pretty neat feature. Cool. Well, thank you very much for everyone turning up. I'm just going to have a look at some of the chat during the approach because it's always quite funny. Cap the Q&H. Yep, thank you very much. Wish I'd read that one. I was super busy on that one. Oh my goodness me. Alpaca's buckled up, said Listerman. Where did all the conspirators come out of tonight? I'm not sure what that's referring to. Interesting comments from some people there. Blue Scorpion, thanks for the meta information. Oh dear, yes, oh my god. Well, we didn't butter. Yeah, I think we'll have a look at that replay. It was a little bit of a balloon all over the place. But, you know, down on the runway, in the touchdown zone, that's what all that matters. Right, I think it goes out to say we'll do the replay and we'll call it a day. Right, there we are. Cool stuff. Right, 2.5 hours streaming. More sim running. There we are. So we'll go from there. It was a little bit of a balloon, but the pitch on the 200 is very different. I don't know if it's a Flyjsim thing, but it's very wallowy. So if you pitch up, there's a delay. In the NG, there's no delay at all. It's pretty instantaneous with your inputs. Thank you very much, Max. First, Fernshite for the donation there, £5. The passengers will never know the risk Alpaca pilots take. Thank you very much for the donation. You're quite right. Thank you. Right, so we came in here, pitched up too early, and then it just ballooned up again. Oh no, oh look at that, look, I was so close to buttering it, did you see that? It was just a little bit too much of the aggressive pitch up, look, it was so close. Whoa, it was inches, and then it just went up again, and then boom, and then the nose came up with the spoilers deploying, which is quite common. I can't believe that. Look at that. It was about 6 inches from touching down, and then it ballooned and then it was a mess. But we got it in, we got it down. Oh, that was very close. Slightly down slope this runway as well. You can hear those tyres screeching already. Let's go from here, bouncing all down the runway. Oh, I don't think I was on a landing like that. Little bounce. One more time, I think. Oh, that was so close. I think that would have been it. Oh, it's just the pitches. It's a bit wallowy. Oh, that was close. Look at that nose wheel tiller. Bounce and bounce. Quite difficult to tail strike the 200 because it's so short. There we are. Buckets deployed, and then we rolled on to the end. Wicked stuff, guys. Thank you very much for turning up for this sort of impromptu live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. It's always enjoying flying this aircraft. I hope you learned something interesting anyway, and new. You've already seen me fly before, but you can see the challenges of flying a non-precision approach in a desktop simulator. So much going on. I'm going to try and do another one a little bit more accurately, but yeah, without knowing how to pitch this aircraft using the automation, it's just easy to disconnect. We just about scraped it in. Again, I must reiterate, if you are as a training pilot or a real line pilot, don't follow the guides here, my tutorials. Please don't take less fuel than is required like I did. I must stress this is only for entertainment, but I'm glad you enjoyed the content nonetheless. Next stream will probably be in the Flight Factor 757, something lined up, or the Zemo mod. That'll be this weekend, but I'll keep you posted on all the social media feeds, and hopefully I'll give you a bit more notice than I did with this live stream. Guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all very soon. Good night from me.